Okay, you guys good to go? Call this meeting's order, please stand.
Nice to sing that with gusto now, isn't it?
It is very good, very good. So,
We will begin this meeting of council by acknowledging that we are meeting on Aboriginal land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning, long before today. As we gather here, there have been Aboriginal peoples who have been the stewards of this place. In particular, we acknowledge the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Wendat, and Haudenosaunee peoples.
thank you very much, Councillor Aragona. That brings us to item number 4, the adoption of the agenda. The motion is moved by Councillor Card, seconded by Councillor Crapper, that the agenda for the council meeting held on March 25th, 2025 be adopted as amended to include a closed meeting session. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Any declarations of conflict or pecuniary interest tonight? Item number 6.1 is the adoption of minutes. Motion is that moved by Councillor Crapper, seconded by Councillor Card, that the minutes of the February 18th, 2025 council and March 4th, 2025 committee of the whole meeting be received and adopted. Any errors or omissions? All right, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Now it brings us to item 7, to the motion. 7.1 is moved by Councillor Card, seconded by Councillor Crapper. The council approves the trial of 6 additional season client slips at the Westport Harbor for the 2025 season. Any discussion? No? I'll call the question. All in favor? I was just enjoying the feel of harbor in summer and warmth there for a second, what I was delaying on.
Just a thought, because it's been so long since our last cow, just you'll have to do a very nice reminder that these things have all been discussed.
Oh, right. So that we don't
Yeah.
get said that our meeting only lasted 28 minutes, right? Good point. So thank you, Councillor Cracker. So a reminder to everybody that we do a 2-stage process for our council, for our government. The first meeting is on the second Tuesday of every month. And it's called Committee of the Whole, and that's really where the most robust debate occurs. Members of staff put forward briefing notes, their recommendations. We can accept them, reject them, or ask them to bring back more information. If more information comes back, it comes back to the following Committee of the Whole. So it is a little slower process, but it's a little bit like the Senate and the House Commons, that the council meeting gives us a couple of weeks between the first discussion and decision taking in case members of the public want to weigh in. So that is a reminder to everybody that there is time, because you hear us recommending it tonight to council. It's not a decision until the council meeting in 2 weeks. Well, tonight, and normally 2 weeks after the Committee of the Whole. So you can certainly get in touch with every member of council or myself if you have concerns when you hear something discussed at committee. All right, so that being said, we will go to an item that we've talked a fair bit about, 8.1, is the unanimous sharehold agreement with Rio St. Lawrence. Reminding members of the public that we are a shareholder in Rio St. Lawrence. And just like any other organization, the laws change. And so the paperwork needs to conform with what the laws are, the regulations are at the time. And that's what this is about. It's called the unanimous stakeholder agreement. We've debated it at committee of the whole, and now it's before us tonight for approval. So it's moved by Councillor Cropper, seconded by Councillor Card. The council approved the unanimous shareholder agreement with Rito St. Lawrence Holdings Inc. Any discussion? Councillor Cropper.
Does this also come up again at their age? They have an AGM coming up, right? Is there
Yes, would you like
something?
to go?
I wish I could,
Okay.
but,
Shocked her, I guess.
I'm surprised. I thought I understood this went to their AGM for their, has it already been approved, ratified by them?
Go
Thank you.
ahead, please.
Through you, Madam Mayor. No, it hasn't yet. As I think I went in the report, they have to go through each of the shareholders' councils first to be approved, and then it will be ratified at their next AGM, which I believe is June, July.
Yeah, ish, August-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll make sure that you all receive an invitation, because sometimes it's just Amy and I.
Mhm.
And last year we got, I know you were tied up last year, but it was at the new arena in Prescott. So, you know, there was a real advantage, not just to be there and attend as a shareholder, but to see that beautiful building. Go ahead, Councillor Yvonne.
Just a process question. I'm assuming that this is obviously a very detailed document. I'm assuming that our village lawyer is looking through this or has looked through it.
Sort of. Sorry, people who reviewed it. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you through you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, there was a small working group of at least one of the shareholders and our solicitor in on that meeting at the very outset. And then it was reviewed right before ratification from the other councils and brought to you guys.
So our council, or was it one council for all the shareholders, just so I got it right?
Yeah, we shared the legal fees, so it was one
Okay.
council, yeah.
Smart. Everybody okay? I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. 9.2 is an annual report that's required by statute, which is the 2024 council remuneration and public sector salary disclosure. As moved by Councillor Card, seconded by Councillor Cropper, that council received the report entitled Treasury 2024 Council Remuneration and Public Sector Salary Disclosure Report for information purposes. This is always causes ripples through the public service and with my colleagues in policing, because the reports everybody who makes over $100,000 a year, but we also fall into that, and I understand there was an error on this report.
Yes, thank you through you, Madam Mayor. There was a misallocation to Councillor Card's expenses. So there was, the misallocation was approximately $250, so it's not $950, it's $750 for Councillor Card's expenses.
Very good. An error, okay, so, and just because I said that, that doesn't mean that we make $100,000. That's a kind of, as I replayed that in my mind, I wanted to make sure that it's just because of our type of work that we also have disclosure. Okay, I think we beat that to death. Comments? Call the question, all in favor? Great. 8.3 is loans maturity. We talked about this at our committee of the whole meeting as well. It's moved by Councillor Carty, seconded by Councillor Aragona, that council receives the report entitled Treasury Loans Maturity, and the council approves that the 2 matured loans for construction costs related to the sewage treatment plant be converted from a termed fixed rate loan to an open variable loan until such time as a debt schedule analysis can be undertaken. That makes perfect sense to me. However, if we could just kind of put that in layman's terms, CAO, just for the public wondering what we're doing there.
Yeah, sure. Thank you through you, Madam Mayor. As discussed when we renewed the last 2 loans that came due, our financial consultants are undertaking a analysis of all of our debts, our ARL, which is an annual repayment limit, which is the ceiling at which we get to borrow. And then she's going to bring it back to council for review, more fulsome review. These 2 particular loans have different amortization periods. And so in consultations with the financial consultants and our financial representative at the bank, it's not recommended to, at this time, blend the 2 loans together.
Okay, very good. Good advice, I guess. Anything about that?
And just
Councillor
to
Crawford?
clarify, then they come due, they're GICs now, right?
Their loans.
Their loans,
Their
yeah.
loans,
Yeah.
that we can pay back anytime or transfer.
We
Yeah.
could,
Yeah.
yeah, we could.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so I think what we're waiting for is, this study to be done.
Yeah.
What's our reserves at? Do we have surplus? Is there something that we can hive off?
Right.
But we just can't get it done. The deadline for these to renew, have come up.
Yeah.
Anybody, anything else? Go ahead, Ian.
So-
Councilor Carty.
So can we, revert back to a fixed rate at any time, or do we have to wait a certain period?
Go ahead.
Through you, Madam Mayor, yep, you can revert back to a fixed rate at any point in time.
Okay, we'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, 9.1, we wanted to send a survey out again, so staff have brought forward this report for your consideration. Moved by Councilor Aragona, seconded by Councilor Carty, that council received the communication survey questions as information and for distribution.
Yeah, thank you through you, Madam Mayor. Sure, subject to council feedback, that's our next step is to distribute it amongst the public.
Okay, so comments? Go ahead.
Mostly more so about, I like the questions, actually, I wouldn't change them, but, in how we tally feedback, it would be interesting, I think more interesting for me than last year to have a sense of, like, there might be 3 comments on something and, whatever, but the difference in what is yielding feedback, what questions? So no matter how you go about, I'm sure there's, your approach to summarizing will be great, but it'd be nice if, however you do it, that we get a sense of the numbers of comments made about different elements,
You
because.
can see all the data, and it'll tell you
Did
the
we see all
question.
the data last year?
Yeah, the question number 3, 67 people
Okay,
answered.
okay.
You'll get that breakdown.
Yeah.
It likely doesn't go to the public because it's granular, pretty granular. That's
Yeah.
what you want. I mean, no reason it can't go to the public, but
Yeah,
they aren't as interested as in a summary, but you guys can get,
yeah,
The
because
full-
then we can hone in on areas that seem to be.
yeah. You're looking at me funny, but you don't remember getting the granular data last time?
I don't remember that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, but it was certainly possible and we'll make sure
Yeah.
Sure.
that you get it this time. Was that what you were gonna comment on?
No, I have
Go
another
ahead,
question.
Jen.
I'm question on number 5. I like all the questions and that they all work very well. It's very similar to what we did last time. I did have a conversation with someone who connected with me to ask about why they couldn't access certain YouTube videos of previous meetings, and I'm wondering if there is a good idea here to add another question there after number 5, which basically says that are you aware that council meetings are recorded and kept for
Okay.
this amount of time, and once they come down, they are available through the town hall office? Because in conversation with the CAO, it seems that they are available, but perhaps many people don't know that.
Are they available through MFIPA though?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, so there's once they're down, there's an application, a $5 fee for MFIPA, just so that we're saying to the public, you just can't call up town hall and ask for it.
Yeah, I think there might be some benefit to doing that, and
See
just
historical
see
ones.
if people are aware, and if they're not, maybe we have to do something but to communicate that better.
Yeah. How many people have, I just don't, I mean, when I ask questions that gather data, is that really something that if 150 people answer the survey and 140 say, I didn't know this, does that mean that they want it? That's what I'm asking, like,
I
I've
think
never
it's-
had anybody ask me for historical video, YouTube.
I think it's just a matter of getting the information out there that it is available, and that it's not that they disappear off the YouTube channel, they are still available somewhere. I think that's
So that's
more,
my question, does YouTube, because we archive them for whatever reasons, serve time, space on server. But doesn't YouTube, if we archive them, does YouTube lose them to our archive?
you are physically taking them down, because we can opt to keep them all on YouTube, but we have to categorize them.
Gotcha.
So it can be done,
Okay.
but we are opting to take it down, is my understanding through you, Madam
Okay.
Mayor, to the
I knew
CAO.
we took it down off our website, I didn't know that meant it came down off YouTube.
Yeah, thank you through you, Madam Mayor. As I understand it, a policy was passed in December of 2021, archiving YouTube recordings, keeping them on for a period of 3 months or until the minutes are approved, as that should be the formal record of the meeting. I'm not sure if there's a fee that goes along with YouTube, if you just continuously keep them up, and that's why we actually physically take them down, but then we put them on an external hard drive and keep them.
Yeah, I remember passing that, but I just didn't realize, maybe somebody could find out.
Sure.
That question about if we archive them, can they stay up on YouTube? Because how much easier is that then,
Totally.
right? So
Sure.
that would, then we're not filling up our server with it because it's out to the public and then if they want it, they don't have to go through MPIP and pay a $5 fee.
Yeah, so just follow up on that, so if we're gonna go that route, just, there may be some additional work required for staff to do that, but I've checked other municipalities and they do categorize them based on year and type of meeting, et cetera.
Okay, yeah, let's just see if it's possible, and then we don't have to fret with it. We just know it's out there and people can go look for great
And I-
decisions.
Just to add to that, I would say 3 months is really short. Like if people were going to look for something, it would be in the past, say 6 months, because it's still relevant to something. They might want to see a decision that was made related to something still active. I agree with you, like who is going to be interested in something from 2 years ago, a different thing, but I'm surprised that pulling them in 3 months does seem,
There's a recommendation of staff. at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So I don't know how to do a storage or something, but that was their recommendation.
all right. But then you can, like, videos do remain on YouTube.
Yeah, so let's follow that through, because if we want to change the process, we have to go through a process.
And the only other thing I would add, sorry, is that we were talking last time about using our website for communicating things like, so whether that question needs to be in the survey or simply that info needs to be on our website, that we talked last meeting about having
April.
yeah, but that would be a place for that kind of thing, right? Or on our website, we access however we end up doing it, here's how you access previous
Yeah,
videos.
Yeah, so what we agreed to, just to refresh everybody's memory, it was a while ago, is that soon after the meeting, like I think it's gonna go up the next day, both the agenda and the video, so it's gonna start with committee of the whole in April, and those two will hold that spot until the council meeting that ties it together. And then the next month, it would start again with committee of the whole, so they can see the agenda, and then they can also see what took place at the meeting. And we'll test it out and see how that goes. So that just a job, because we did talk about a lot of things, but that's where we left it
Yeah.
for 1st of April. Go ahead, Joe.
I think, following up on both comments, maybe the question in the survey is, do you want more access or something along the lines, ask the question as to whether or not they want or would appreciate more access to recorded council meetings on YouTube beyond 3 months or something along that line.
Okay, but are we asking it because there's a reason, like, is there an issue that prompts us to ask this question? That's what I'm asking.
I'm only suggesting that if we're gonna go through the trouble, either we're gonna make a decision that we're gonna go through the process of actually putting them up beyond 3 months, or we're gonna find out whether or not it actually needs to be done. That's the only reason I'm suggesting it.
Comments? I don't see the point of it, but go ahead, Barry.
I noticed, and I look back, if you subscribe to the channel, it makes a big difference in the retention. So you might go on tomorrow and just look at YouTube
Yeah.
and Westport council meeting would come up. If you subscribe, they'll come up a bunch together.
Mhm.
So, and if people understand that, you can go back a few meetings without searching and they're there kind of thing. So-
Okay, staff's gonna do that. Everybody can do it individually, but staff will follow it up, and we don't have to make this decision like right away. It's, although, because we're on the survey, when is, what are your thoughts on when that survey is supposed to go out?
It's prepared now. We have to put it into SurveyMonkey and then electronically circulate it. Any paper copies that we receive back, we put into SurveyMonkey for the metrics for that reason. So we're thinking next week.
Okay, so is that okay with everybody, that it goes the way it goes,
Mhm.
and next week? Okay, you don't wanna wait, okay. That's good, just so that you kind of got a thumbs up. Go ahead, Councillor Carter.
Through you, Madam Mayor, just, can you just communicate with the public where they can access it?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Where can you access that? On our website?
Yes.
So it's through you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, we'll put a
That's the
publication.
next question, right? And where is that?
Sorry. Read my mind.
we'll put a post out on our website and on social media with the direct link to SurveyMonkey, but then the direction, if people want a paper copy, they can certainly pick it up at the office. We can put a publication in the newspaper if they want a copy of the communication survey as
Yeah.
well, to come to the office. We'll have paper copies as well.
And you know, the other day, Dawn, and we were talking about something on the back of her computer when people walk in the door, because that's the first thing they look at. Yeah, maybe that as well. I think we want distribution as wide as we can get it.
As Councilor Aragon has repeated more than once, what's the statement? Post the same thing.
Right, once, post many.
Exactly. That's my motto.
So that's good. Survey's happy?
Yep, good.
You're happy? Survey's going out?
So just.
And then we're gonna tie it into a public meeting, right? Like, or let's call it something other than public meeting. That sounds far too official.
Isn't that a strategic planning, like more broader than communication? It was a feedback session.
Yes, it wasn't a public meeting. I saw Kim twitch when I said that. Go ahead.
Thank you through you, Madam Mayor. So if council's amenable, staff's intention is to put the survey out for a period of 3 weeks and then bring it back to the May Committee of the Whole meeting with the results. And then from that, schedule a strategic planning open house meeting.
Yeah,
Excellent.
strategic planning and open house. Perfect.
I know.
Better. Okay, anything else said about the questionnaire? Call a question, all in favor? Carried. Okay, so that's our staff reports. Now we're back to, the bylaws. It's only the unanimous shareholder. So it's moved by Councillor Cardy, seconded by Councillor Aragona, that bylaw 2025-10 being a bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter an agreement with Rito St. Lawrence Holdings, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passes 25th day of March 2025. All in favor? Carried. Brilliant. And so any notices of motion? Any announcements? Sadly.
I'd just like to mention that the end of the season for the Westport Ritos, it was a great season. I mean, second into our third year, our third season, and stellar performance by everybody, and especially the coaching staff. I mean, we'll be building a big portion of a new team next year, and certainly the right people are in place to make that happen. I've even heard comments at the last game that from the opposing team's parents, that the Westport organization was a class act, that they enjoyed playing Westport. They like to play hockey. They didn't like to fight and that kind of thing. So it was a lot of good comments about coaching staff too, and how pleased they were with the way they were treated. And the bus tour that went to Van Cleek Hill to attend the pre-game service for Maddie, that was very much appreciated. So everybody was on board with that.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. It wasn't that long ago, we were making the decision for Steve Merkley and I to head to Ottawa to negotiate for the team, and
Doesn't seem
this
long.
season they were second in the, first in the division, second in the league, like, yeah, we're really, really proud of it, for sure.
One other thing, your worship, I'd just like to mention that the passing of John Duncan. There aren't many people around Westport and area that don't know John as a career volunteer firefighter and professional paramedic. And he passed recently, and he'll be missed by everyone.
Yeah, it was very sad. Sure. Martin.
I have a question, and actually I want to comment first on a thank you to largely Peter's staff, but also community members who during the flooding that happened recently were just out helping each other, and it was pretty remarkable. I'm driving around and talking to people, and people are, Facebook had a bunch of negative crap on it, but in real life, people were recognizing that this was something that was not obviously predicted, happened, and happens all over the place. And it's neat when people can come together. And I even talked yesterday to somebody whose house was, heavily damaged, but they're not pointing fingers. They're going, boy, lots of lessons learned, perhaps by lots of people. But it was just, it was really something to see the staff out as quickly. And I was calling around to ask me, but they were already out. So that was great. And on my way in, I forgot, somebody asked me when I know we have a budget meeting planned, but I wasn't able to answer, and they were asking me, what is the date of our, budget
Go ahead,
discussion?
Through Madam Mayor, it is April 8th, 5 PM.
Great,
Um,
thanks.
So let's go through that slower because there's several kind of public things coming up. So April, I'm just gonna let you do it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Madam
Doesn't
Mayor.
matter how many times I write it down, then it'll change and I go, oh my. Well, we're not
So-
changing anything, this is set. Go ahead.
So next week, we have a public meeting scheduled on Tuesday, April 1st, and that's to hear comments from the public for the zoning bylaw amendment application for Landark, Phase 3. That's at 5 PM at the fire hall. And then after that meeting concurs, we'll be coming back to council chambers, and then we have our regular committee of the whole meeting here. So they're about 6:30 PM. And then preceding that meeting, we have another public meeting to consider the background report for the development charges study. That will be April 3rd at 5 PM, and that's here in the council chambers. And that will be obviously considered the background study and the municipal part 8 connection fees, review and analysis as well.
Is that a public meeting
It
again?
is.
Okay, so for both the meeting on the 1st and the 3rd, we're in listening mode.
Except committee of the whole meeting on the
Yeah,
first, but yeah.
the two public meetings, just so that we remind ourselves that it's the opportunity for the public to speak. The planner will be at the one on the 1st.
Yeah.
The person that we hired to do the study will be there on the 3rd.
Right.
And then report comes back to us, taking into consideration what they heard at the meetings or in between.
That's right.
Okay, it's just nice to remind ourselves how
Mhm.
much reading we need to do beforehand, or we wait until the reports all come. Thank
Yep.
you. And is there another one?
The budget meeting on April 8th at 5 PM. That's in council chambers.
And then, on the 15th is our regular council meeting?
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay, just so we've got 4 dates coming up between now and the 15th of April.
That's correct, at 5 PM.
Anything else? Yeah, up your sleeve?
Not yet.
Go ahead.
Just, I realize it's too late to change it, but I know there's a lot of interest in the development charge one, so I would encourage people who, because what's our max we can fit in here?
It's 7 citizens with staff and council that are in here.
So people, to that it is on YouTube, so, and as I recall last time, it was pretty dry stuff, but people are interested in it, and I think when we're doing public meetings, it's worth considering, there's not very many people. And I have a strong feeling there'd be more than 8 people who want to come to the development charge one, so.
Any other announcements? Councilor Aragona?
Just a question, actually, not an announcement, through you to the CEO. Clarification on the April 1st meeting. There's a public information session at which the public will get to make comments on the application. We're then going into committee of the whole. Committee of the whole is not at that point reviewing, or is it
Correct, no.
reviewing? So that
Sorry.
should be made clear, because
Yeah.
there may be an expectation that we're coming back here to discuss it.
Yeah, we'll make it clear, and I know that Kim's already spoken to some people, and she's been, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to change the venue. So that when we came to committee of the whole, that it would be another way that we can physically show that we're going back on other business, but we'll make sure that it's clear in that, in the opening. We had one other public meeting there, so it was a fairly good setup, it worked fairly well. We sat on the side, if you all remember, and okay, busy times. Anybody, anything else?
Chris has something.
Oh, please,
Yeah.
Mr. Chisholm.
Yeah, you're doing there. As Councilor Card mentioned, the Ritos season ended on Sunday. A few weeks prior to that, the senior team, the Westport Lumberjacks season ended as well. And that was their inaugural season. I think we were pretty pleased as village staff in terms of how they conducted themselves, how they carried about their business. They came by and dropped off just like a thank you poster with members of the executive that had signed it. They are interested in talking about coming, next year and next year's team and next year's season. They definitely want to be back here in Westport. So for their first season, I thought they were quite successful too. They almost knocked off Gananoque And so,
Literally.
yeah, yeah, literally. So anyways, I just wanted to mention that they had come
Thanks,
to express their thank you and gratitude for us, accepting them and letting them come into the community.
And this is also an opportunity, because Councillor Card said something to the other night, and we don't want this meeting, the last of the season for you, to pass without talking about specifically you and your staff. And that place is as clean as a whip. I mean, we all go to lots of arenas and you see garbage in a corner. Your staff are picking it up when they see it. They're cleaning, they're mopping. The washrooms I mean, it doesn't sound like much maybe to the public, but an arena can quickly, with that number of people in it, go downhill. So just in addition to the work that you and staff and FOTA have done in painting and really giving it a new life, particularly Councilor Card mentioned the other night that it was one of your people was swabbing the deck there when we all were coming in early to get our seats. Yeah, so please let them know that it doesn't go unnoticed, but you don't want to grab, the fellows as they walk in front of you and say, good work for swabbing the floor, but please pass on to them. It's very much appreciated, and as Councilor Card always said, the visitors, I mean, I think that the parents of the people who are leaving the team, they go through their own period of, mornings may be too strong, but we sit with a lot of the parents, and many of them are saying, so now what are we gonna do on Friday nights, but they're always so happy to be in the arenas. Enough said, but really appreciate it, so thank you to you and your staff.
I just have one more thing, sorry. 3 minutes. The utility bills have gone out this week. There was a bit of a glitch in the system, and I know people were anticipating them, but they have gone out this week with a due date of April 9th. So if folks want to come in and visit us at the office to either set up pre-authorized debits or to set up a different payment arrangement, we're here to help with the bills.
And everybody has to do that because everybody is now getting billed differently. So those of us who have had an automatic debit for 25 years, we need to take notice that when the bill comes in your mailbox, don't ignore it and thinking that it's going to go through your checking account, because that's not the case.
That's right.
So we'll say it today and we'll say it maybe at all of our meetings that we've got. Yeah, thanks to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so any questions from the public or from the media tonight?
None.
All righty. So with that being said, we're going to go into closed session. And it's moved by Councillor Aragona, seconded by Councillor Cardy, that council adjourns to closed session to consider advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, thank you. So thank you. Welcome back, everybody. We're just gonna do the report out from closed meeting. Moved by Councillor Aragonis, seconded by Councillor Cardy. The council met in closed session to consider advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. Council took no further action beyond receiving information from staff. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? Carried. And we'll do the confirmatory. It's moved by Councillor Cardy, seconded by Councillor Aragona, that bylaw 2025-012 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings at its meeting held on March 4th and 25th, 2025, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 25th day of March 2025. Call the question, all in favor? Carried. And the adjournments moved by Councillor Aragona, seconded by Councillor Cardy, that this meeting of the Council of the Village of Westport be adjourned at 6:35 PM. All in favor? Carried. And we're adjourned. Public's got all the list of our meetings.